Hey everybody, welcome back to part 3 of our cute koala bears. Last time we were together, we shaded in and made some beautiful texture on our koala bear's face and body. And we used blending techniques to make him look like he is a soft little guy. So cute. Well, today we're gonna put him on a background. So I've got this blue piece of paper here that I'm going to use as my background. It's a little bit bigger than I would like, but we're going to use it. And I've also got some brown paper and some green paper. I'm going to try and make something that looks a little bit like eucalyptus leaves. So with my brown paper, I'm going to cut some strips for trees, but eucalyptus trees have little segments in them. So what I'm going to do after I cut my actual trees out is I'm going to cut them into pieces, into little smaller segments. So it looks like they are segmented trunks to make them look a little bit tropical, or no, not tropical, jungly, wherever the koalas live. I'm going to try and make it look like a background in their habitat. I'm thinking about palm trees for some reason, which is why I said tropical. Sorry. All right, I'm going to get, let me see, I got 4. 5, 6. You think 6 will do it to cover the background? I want as many trees or brown strips here to be trees to cover my background. So let's see, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I get more than 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have 6. All right, so I get 7 here. I'm going to go ahead and cut these into 3 segments. 1, 2, actually 4 segments, and I'm going to space them out a little bit. So with my trusty glue stick, I like to use Elmer's Extra Strength, but any kind of glue stick will work. Any kind of glue will work. If you don't have glue, you can use tape, but hide that tape. Don't stick the piece of tape right on top of the picture so we can see it. Roll it up in the back. Do you know how to do that? Roll it up so we can't see the tape. But glue definitely makes things go a little bit quicker. And they don't have to line up perfectly, but see how I have little segments in between? You can see a little of the sky. It's sort of an abstract way to make a tree. Abstract meaning not very realistic, but attracts people's interest. Looks kind of interesting the way I did it. This one I'll do into only 3. Mix it up a little bit so they don't all look exactly the same. And I'm spacing them apart. As I said, this is going to be the background for our koala. So we are eventually going to cut out our koala and stick him onto this background. Got a little pattern going on. I have 4, 3, 4 again. I'm going to take these and cut them. Take your time. Don't feel like you need to keep up with me as I'm doing this. Everybody works at their own different pace. I'll have these a little closer together to make it different. I might not use all 7 after all. I might only need, I'm in a groove now. See how fast I'm going? The first ones took me a little while, but now I've figured out a way to do it. All right, I think I'm going to stick with this 5 trees. Now, what are my trees missing? That's right, leaves. We're going to need some leaves. So I've got my green paper here. I'm going to show you a way to make a bunch of leaves at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and cut a thick rectangle here. And I'm going to fold it. Actually, let's fold it in half. Fold it in half, have your thick rectangle, fold it in half. Fold it in half again. And I'm going to take my pencil and draw a nice big leaf shape. Curve out and then back in. Curve out and then back in. How's that for a leaf? Not too bad, right? I'm gonna hold it together with my fingers. I've got 4 sections of paper here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I hold this and cut it, making sure that my papers don't move. So I'm pinching it very tightly with my left hand, cutting it with my right hand. If I've done this correctly, I should have 4 leaves, and I do. So instead of cutting 1 leaf at a time, that could be one quick and easy way for you to do a bunch of them. And I'm gonna put these leaves randomly on my trees. Again, no specific pattern. We're going to try and make these look like eucalyptus leaves. I'll do the same thing again. I'm cutting a thick rectangle out of my green paper, fold it in half again. Draw a nice big leaf that goes from the top to the bottom, out and in, out and in. Squeeze it nice and tight with my left hand and cut. If 4 pieces of paper, this one piece folded in 4 times to make 4 sections. If it's too hard, try less, maybe 3. But at least you're still not having to cut every single leaf. Got my leaf there, another leaf there. Oh, I got 2 leaves there. Leaf there. I'm gonna put my koala somewhere in the middle so I can kind of avoid the middle to a certain extent. I think 1 more section of leaves and we're gonna get this. It's gonna look good. That glue will dry. Actually, I'll be covering him up with my koala anyway. All right, here we go. Last section of leaves. Got my long rectangle, fold it in half again. Once you get good at this, you don't have to draw your leaf anymore. You can just go for it and cut. Cutting it off to the side so my scraps don't fall on the paper. And let's get it, here we go. A 1, a 2, 3, oh, I stuck together, and 4. All right, so I left a little space for my bear, but I don't want to make it look like there's a big hollow spot there just in case I don't cover it with my bear. But let's take this little die, and we're going to shadow cut him. Shadow cut means we're cutting not on the lines that we made, but we're leaving some white space. If I were to cut directly on the line, I'd cut off all of that beautiful texture, which I don't really want to do. So I'm cutting around the lines that I made. I am leaving a little bit of white space, especially up here where these beautiful long hairs are of the ears. Take your time cutting it out. You did such a nice job drawing it. I don't want you to rush this part at all. Nice little shadow cut. There's a little bit of white, not too much. If I accidentally cut off some of my little fur lines that I made, that's okay. Give him a little haircut. And let's take a peek. How are we doing? I'm gonna stick him down. Oh, so cute. Here he is, my little guy in his natural element. We've got a nice blue sky in the background. These beautiful, beautiful and colorful eucalyptus leaves on some trunks that I've finagled to a certain extent. Now we're gonna glue him down. Move him around. He doesn't have to be directly in the middle, but I did leave a spot there for him, so I'm gonna leave him right there in the middle. I think that looks good. A little bit of glue. Now, lesson on glue. You don't wanna necessarily go over the whole thing, back and forth way too much, because that's gonna leave you with hardly any glue left. So when it's time to use your glue stick, crank it up a tiny bit. See the very small amount? This is really dirty, sorry. It's a dirty glue stick because I've used it a lot, but I've saved the glue. I'm only putting it up a tiny bit. I am not going like this, okay? That's one way to break your glue stick. I'm just putting it up a tiny crank, and then I'm going to put a little bit on the ears, a little at the bottom, and I'm gonna put some on the sides, and then 1 X in the middle. So you didn't sit there and start gluing and gluing and gluing. Just a little bit of glue is gonna be fine. Carefully press it down. Remember, we did use some smudgy stuff here to make our koala bear look soft, so you might get some on your hands as you're pushing. Maybe just set it down and put a book on top and let it dry. But there you have it. Super cute koala bear using just a few simple techniques. We talked about how to use chalk pastel or oil pastel or pencil to get the same effect. So just know that you don't need to have fancy materials at home to make a beautiful looking project. I can't wait to see what yours look like. Finish them up, take your time. There is no time limit for art, so don't rush it. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.